Tensions rise as Iran conducts airstrikes in the Pakistani territory, and in response, Pakistan also launching highly coordinated strikes in the Iranian province. This conflict brings another unwanted active theater of conflict to the forefront of international community that is already dealing with the multiple flashpoints in the form of Russia-Ukraine war and the Israel-Palestine conflict as well. Hello everyone, my name is Shweta, and in the NewsKase today, we're going to discuss the relationship between Iran and Pakistan, which has experienced serious hits over the last few days, and also try to analyze how it adds complexities to the already volatile world situation. The discussion, it would be focused on the Iran-Pakistan conflict. The points of discussion would revolve around, first we'll see what the current issue is about, how the recent developments have downgraded the relations between both these neighbors. Then we'll try to understand the background of such relations. We'll also look at the common problem of the Baloch insurgency. We'll analyze the broader implications of this particular conflict, and then we'll also see how does it impact India's interest. In the end, we'll discuss a way forward. So let's start the current issue. Iranian missiles and drones, they have struck two alleged bases of Jaish al-Adl. It's an anti-Iranian Baloch group in Pakistan, Baluchistan province. Pakistan, in response, has reacted strongly to the blatant breach of its sovereignty. It has recalled its envoy to Tehran and said that the Iranian ambassador may not even return. Pakistan has also carried out its own cross-military strikes on alleged terrorist sanctuaries in the Iranian Sistan-Balochistan province. Iran has summoned a senior Pakistani diplomat in response and is holding large-scale military exercise near its eastern borders. Then both the countries have claimed civilian casualties in attack by the both sides. So we can see that the areas of disputes is located around two provinces. So we'll try to locate these areas on a map. So this is Iran and this is Pakistan. This marks the international boundary between both these countries. So Sistan Balochistan is the province in Iran where Pakistan has made a retaliatory attack, and Balochistan is the province where Iran has launched the military airstrikes. These are located very close to the Gulf of Oman and the Persian Gulf, which increases its geopolitical significance for the world affairs. While these are the conflicting areas, we should also now look at how the relations between both these countries has evolved over the period of time. We'll take 1979 as the watershed event which marked the Iranian Revolution and which led to the Islamic Republic formation in Iran. So pre-1979, both these countries, they were firmly allied to the United States of America as it was the period of Cold War. They had in 1955 joined the Baghdad Pact, which later came to be known as the Central Treaty Organization, CENTO. It was a military alliance formed on the lines of NATO. After that, Iran had also provided material and weapon support to the Pakistan during its 1965 and 1971 wars against India. But after the 1979 and the Iranian Revolution in Iran, the two countries found themselves at the opposite ends of the sectarian divide, where the Sunni majority Pakistan was pitted against the Shiite regime that has come to power in Iran. Geopolitical differences had also started to emerge as Iran became a sworn enemy of the United States overnight, and the Americans embraced Pakistan closer. Iran's distrust of Pakistan grew even more after Pakistan provided qualified support to United States war on terror. Iranian foreign policy, it also focused on exporting this revolution, which made its Arab neighbors very concerned. And as Pakistan had the strategic ties with these Arab kingdoms, these further brought rough edges to its relationship with Iran. And also, Iran and Pakistan, they had ended up at The opposite sides in Afghanistan after the withdrawal of Soviet Union. Iran had backed the Northern Alliance against Taliban, which was overtly a Pakistani creation. So now we have seen a period of tensions and cooperation between both these neighbors, but a common problem of Baloch insurgency still marks its relations to a great extent. So now we look at the Baloch problem. The 909 Iran-Pakistan border, it is also known as the Goldsmith Line. It stretches from a tri-point in Afghanistan to north of the Arabian Sea. Then around 9 million Baloch people, they live on the either sides of these countries. In Pakistan province of Baluchistan and Iranian province of Sistan Baluchistan. Also around 500,000 people live in the areas near Afghanistan. So this is the area where Baloch people are residing. Now they share cultural, ethnic, linguistic and religious ties which expand even beyond the borders. And also they have deep-rooted grievances against both Iranian and Pakistan states. Their nationalism, it can be traced to the roots to early 20th century when new international borders came to be drawn in this region. Their marginalization in both the countries in subsequent years, it has fueled several separatist movements for a greater Balochistan nation states. So they want a separate homeland for the Baloch people by the name of Balochistan. It would be comprising areas of Pakistan, Iran and Afghanistan. So while this demand has still not been met, so because of that, the insurgents, they travel back and forth across the porous borders and attack military and even civilians from both the sides. Iranian strikes, they were in response to the terrorist actions by the Sunni Islamist Jaish al-Adl that operates in Iran, and Pakistan response was also targeted at the Balochistan Baloch Liberation Army and Baloch Liberation Front. These are the separate groups that have been active in Pakistan. So we have seen that Iran and Pakistan both have earlier tried to combat the Baloch insurgency together, but it has remained a major source of contention between both these nations, as can also be witnessed in the ongoing conflict. So this problem, it also has broader implications in the region. So now we'll try to look at them. The first is the regional power dynamics. The involvement of Arabs, Israelis and Iranians in this broader Balochistan issue, it reflects the regional power politics that get to be played in West Asian region. Then the strategic significance. The location of this area very close to the mouth of Persian Gulf. It adds to its geopolitical significance, where the geopolitical strategies could be impacted, including the China's Belt and Road Initiative as well. Then beginning of proxy wars, the strikes by Iran, it may start a proxy war between Iran on one side and US and its allies on the other side. It is analyzed that Iran generally avoids a direct military confrontation with US or Israel, but it still wishes to keep its enemies' military occupied in this region. Then the global financial situation, it may be further downgraded owing to the clashes between Iran and Pakistan, as the supply chains and the trade corridor might be affected, which would result in economic loss for the global economy. Then the policy shift. As the economic and security interest in the West Asia, they are rising, it is prompting a traditionally shift towards a neutral stance in the West Asian region. So because of the national interest that countries are now having in the West Asia, their stance is now also getting shifted. So while these are the broader implications of this particular event, how does it seek to impact the India's interest? Now we'll come to that. The spillover effects. The clashes between Iran and Pakistan, they might escalate into a full-scale war and it would then impact the whole South Asia region as well. So the security structure in the South Asia region, it is at stake. Then it can also affect India's projects. For example, the Chabahar port, it is located in Iran's Sistan Baluchistan province. So the instability might impact the development on the Chabahar port. Also, the conflict, it can also spill over to Afghanistan, where India has stakes in the developmental projects. Apart from this, increase in militancy in Jammu and Kashmir. Pakistan may increasingly try to fuel militancy in Jammu and Kashmir to distract its citizens or divert attention of its citizens during the election year. So for electoral motives, the military statistics can be changed. When rethinking foreign policy, Pakistan might get increasingly entangled in the Middle East politics, and that could demand a re-evaluation of India's regional strategies. This might also bring an opportunity for China to increase its influence in the West Asian region as a mediator, and that would be concerning for India's interest. And lastly, the security crisis in Pakistan. India would not want the nuclear weapons to proliferate in the hands of non-state actors in case the state of Pakistan collapses. So these are the interests of India which are at stake because of the recent development. So how should we try to look at it? The way forward for this issue. See, both Iran and Pakistan, they have their hands full with the regional conflict. Pakistan, it is practically bankrupt for all the purposes. It is also worried about India. It is also looking at the increasingly hostile insurgency along the Afghan border. So Iran seems to be its least hostile neighbor. And Iran also, on the other hand, has more pressing issues. It is supporting the Palestinians in the Gaza. It is also providing support to the Houthi militia in the Red Sea. And its proxy Hezbollah is also fighting along the Israel-Lebanon border. So Iran also would not try to open up another front of war. So neither would want to escalate it beyond a point, as their resources are already stretched thin, both economically and geopolitically. So both the nations, they are likely to seek de-escalation, but the larger issue of Baluchistan, regional power dynamics, and India's role in Middle East, they are challenging the established assumptions about security in this region. India holds its uncompromising position of zero tolerance to terrorism in this region. And how does India's position would change as the developments take place? It's still to be seen. So that's all that we had to discuss in this video. And that's all for today. Thank you so much.